In India, I belong to an area which had been under conflict almost last for 2 decades. And being a political reporter, I have been always told to cover this conflict. So it has been fascinating for me always that the way the European countries, and particularly the Scandinavian countries, and particularly Denmark, settled the political issues with its neighbors, and they were settled in such an, we can say, creative way, where not the territory but the people were made focus. People were actually, the solutions came up such a way that there was no exchange of territories, but there was some, it was actually economic based, the resolutions. So that has quite fascinated me. And in some of the conflicts I have read through magazines, through newspapers, through books. And I think that after 2008, when the India and Pakistan had resumed the talks, there was a there was actually advice, suggestions to them that they should learn from the how the Europe conflict settle their disputes. And mostly they all and this, it was referred and referred quite often when the non-papers or the track to diplomatic in the exchanges and the back channel exchange, it was referred to these two countries that they should settle the issue like this. And in that course, since we had been covering the conflict, we were also told that we should also take some kind of a reference with these kind of disputes and try to build an kind of a public opinion. And I thought that, in the current situations, this is an ideal solution, where you can actually have the people first and then territory next. So this has fascinated me, and yes, I do want to learn from. I do want to learn. I do want to learn firsthand how these things happened, because they must not have happened overnight. There must have been quite a lot of back channel or track to exchanges, and how the public opinion was created around, how the political parties came around to around a consensus on these solutions. And number two, another thing is that these countries, they have fascinated us also in terms of the rural technologies. India being myself being from a rural area, India being a quite huge country of rural countries, the kind of technologies you have developed, the dairy technologies, these kind of technologies which can be used in the rural areas, where a person in his own environment can build his own economy. He doesn't necessarily have to go to the cities in finding his jobs and polluting and making the cities crowded, this increasing the slums, or or if he doesn't have to fly and see the bye bye to his own country and go to New York and go to London. I need those kind of technologies which we can use in our own areas, in our own rural areas, where we can build future of our children, where we can build future of our neighbors. This kind of technologies, if they come to us, and I think that these Scandinavian countries and these countries, they have actually mastered the art of these technologies, is the need of our for this whole of this South Asian region, not only for India but whole of the South Asian region.